In this video, I'd like to try to show you the two massive creatures that actually created our world. Now, this is Google Earth. As you can see, they show you no detail of nothing. This is Australia. This is Australia. This is Earth from the moon. It's taken in the early 70s on a Apollo mission. As you can see, they have everything pasteled out with white pastel, wanting you to think it's clouds. But as I was showing you in my previous videos, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of these creatures, smaller creatures upon the Earth that they cover up so you can't make them out. Well, they try to cover them up so you can't make them out. But the larger creatures, as you can see, this right here, this area right here is the Mariana Trench, which that is the mouth area of the original creature that originally formed the Earth. This creature rolled up in a ball. His head is right here in this area, and this is his mouth, and then his snout comes down here in this area. Okay, in this image, although they got it pasteled out real well, right here in this area would be the head of the original creature, and then you would come on down here and his mouth would be right here in this area, the Marianas Trench. And then you follow it on down and you can see his snout area in behind this. You can see a lot of his snout area. And all this across here is the tails that came back around, wrapped all the way around the Earth. This is the end of the hard shell tail. The long tail I showed you on the video of the small creature I showed you. The long tail is either translucent or most of it's been broken away, so you don't see much of it. Now this bar you see right here, this crosses across the snout area of the original creature, right about the mouth area. And the same way on this creature. This creature here apparently came along at a later date and wrapped itself around this original creature that formed the planet. This creature came along and almost as big as the original creature wrapped itself around this one. And you can see this is one of the eyes of this creature. And this creature is right here, and his mouth area is right here. And then the snout area you can clearly see goes all the way down here. And his tail would be stopped right in this area here. You can clearly see that this right here, if it didn't have all these clouds, all this pastel on top of it, you could make out the faces of the original creatures that formed our planet. Every single life form on this planet that has ever existed is a direct descendant of these creatures. You will not find these creatures listed nowhere and see them in any museum or listed nowhere. You'll see nothing of them. If you try to, like I did years ago when I first found one of these creatures in a fossilized stone, fossilized in a piece of quartz, you can clearly see this creature. I've got a clear image of it. I found a clear image of it. You can clearly see this creature in this quartz, and you can see all the details of it, and it's just almost as if it was alive. It's so well preserved. So I took that to the museum here in Houston, Texas, and they didn't even want to look at it after I explained it to them and took it down there to them, and they glanced at it and seen what it was. Well, they didn't want no part of it, didn't want nothing to do with it, and I couldn't really understand at the time why they would not be interested in something like that. You know, I find like that, and, you know, to me that was amazing at the time. It still is amazing to me, but it just was beyond my belief that they wouldn't even talk to me about it, or even look at it, or want to put it on display, or make a name for it, or anything. So anyway, years went by, and NASA began all their space missions, and as they took photos of the moons and planets, and I slowly put two and two together, and the snout area of these creatures is what gives them away to me, because the creature I found in the fossilized quartz is exactly like this creature. The same identical creature, except very small. The same design on its snout, the same mouth, same eyes, everything is the same. All the details are exactly the same. So that's when I began to put two and two together, and discovered that all planets and moons that NASA has shown us a halfway decent image of is clearly formed from one of these giant creatures. Now the Earth, as you can see, is formed from at least two giant creatures that I can see here. It took me a while to find this image. This is Earth from the moon. I found it on one of the NASA Earth from the moon images, and as you can see, this is clearly the creature, one of the creatures right here that formed this Earth. This right here, Australia, would be this creature's right hand shoulder. That this creature's main pinchers, they have pinchers similar to a rock lobster. As a matter of fact, their face and everything, and mouth and all, are similar to a rock lobster, today's rock lobsters, except these creatures have this snout, this long snout, and they also have this appendage going across their snout here that you can see. You can see it right here on this one, and you can see it up here on this one. Now, I have no clue what that appendage for, or why the snout is built like that. I couldn't figure it out. They also have two appendages like this that comes down over their mouth that you can't hardly make out in this image. You can't even see those up there. They got them pasteled over so well. Well, you can slightly make out these. Like I say, this is the right hand shoulder, and this would be the arm, and the large pincher is either curved up right here, the right hand large pincher, and then this right here is likely one of its feeding pinchers, smaller feeding pinchers. That this stuff you can see in fossils very well. The fossils I have, you can see this in very well in. Anyway, I just wanted to try to get you to show you that more proof that this Earth is not what they show you, and they just show you what they hide from you. The main thing they're trying to hide here is all the smaller creatures. I say small, they're huge, but small in comparison to the creatures that actually form this world. There are smaller creatures, you know, thousands of miles long laying here, and most of them are laying on top of their arm appendage. There's a smaller creature laying on top of this one. So it's pretty amazing, and just take a look at it, and take a good look at this, and you will see exactly what they're not showing you in images like this. And it also gives you an idea of why Google Mars is so cut up, and you can't make nothing out of nothing on Google Mars. They got it all cut up in little bitty splices, and a good area here and a bad area here, a good area here, you know, and so on. That's the reason they don't show you Google Mars as a clear image, is because of this right here. Mars is also covered with these creatures. All the meteor craters that they say is meteor craters. Well, 90% of them craters, if you take a good look at those craters, all those craters is the mouth area of one of these creatures, one of these smaller creatures. All those craters is what remains of those creatures is just that crater is the mouth area. So that's how a deteriorated Mars became. Now, I'm not sure if Mars ever looked like this. I can't hardly believe it did, but they think it did. But I just can't bring myself to believe that Mars was ever like this. All the oceans and all the liquid on the Earth is nothing but the bodily fluids of these giant creatures that has become purified over the billions of years. Their bodily fluids become purified and is now the salt water on the Earth. So anyway, just take a look at that and you'll see what I see and make a believer out of you. That the biggest secret of mankind and the biggest discovery of mankind, I've just shown it to you. So thanks for watching.